Hello friends, myself Purnima Vadak. Welcome to the third lecture of microprocessor and peripheral interfacing. This lecture is basically aimed at studying the architecture of 8086 microprocessor. So the learning outcomes of this lecture are, at the end of this module, you will be able to state the features of 8086 microprocessor, draw its architecture, and state the function of execution unit and bus interface unit within the architecture, and explain the architecture of pipeline architecture of 8086 microprocessor. So let us start. Let us first look at the evolution of 8086 microprocessor. 8086 microprocessor is a 16-bit microprocessor with advanced architecture and various powerful instructions present or newly added in it, and it has fast processing capability. So it was developed in 1978 by Intel, but before reaching to that microprocessor, it has gone through the various stages of evolution. The first microprocessor developed was a 4-bit microprocessor named as 4004, and it was invented in 1971. Then in the next year 1972, a first 8-bit microprocessor was developed, which was 8008. As it was very much specific, a first general purpose 8-bit microprocessor was developed in 1974 and was named as 8080. After adding a few features in the architecture of 8080, a new 8-bit microprocessor 8085 came into picture in 1976, and then came our first 16-bit microprocessor 8086. So this was the evolution history. Let us see the features of 8086 in detail. 8086 is a 16-bit microprocessor. Now, what's the reason for calling it a 16-bit microprocessor? The first thing, it has a 16-bit data bus. That means at a time, it can read the data or write the data to the memory or to any other IO devices, which can be 16-bit or even 8-bit. Okay, so maximum it is 16-bit. That's why it is called as a 16-bit microprocessor. 8086 has a 20-bit address bus. So having 20-bit address bus makes it possible to access 2 raised to 20, that is 1 megabyte of memory locations. 8086 can support up to 64K IO ports. That means they can be interfaced to the 8086. The internal registers for present in 8086 microprocessor are 14 in number, and each of these register is a 16-bit registers. Besides that, the address and data bus available in 8086 are multiplexed. That means the same bus or the same pins carry the address for a particular time period in a time cycle, and for the remaining time period it carries the data. This multiplexing allows us to have less number of pins in the IC of 8086. Now, to have the synchronization between various activities taking place in 8086 or the various operations like read, write and so on, it requires a clock for the synchronization purpose. So 8086 uses a single phase clock with 33% data cycle to provide the internal timing. And last, the most important feature of 8086 is it has instruction queue. With the help of this instruction queue, 8086 is capable of prefetching the 6 instruction bytes from the memory and queue them so that fetch them and store them in the queue while the current instruction is being executed, and hence it helps us to improve the speed or increase the speed of processing. So these were some of the features of 8086. Now, 8086 supports two modes of operation, the minimum mode and the maximum mode. That means it is possible to use the 8086 alone, or we can even use 8086. 8086 supports two modes of operation, that is minimum mode and maximum mode. In the minimum mode, for the smaller applications, the 8086 alone can handle all the operations. But for some applications where the single processor cannot handle and more than one processors are required, that is called as the maximum mode, wherein more than one processors are interfaced together. So 8086 support both of these modes. Now this is the basic architecture of 8086. Now if you can see, this 8086 is divided into two parts. It is separated by a dotted line. The topper part is called as the bus interface unit and the lower part is called as the execution unit. The names given to these units are very much relevant to the work they do. For example, the bus interface unit basically does the work of interfacing the external peripherals like memory or IO devices with the 8086 with the help of these buses. So that interfacing is controlled by the bus interface unit. And execution unit performs exact execution of the instructions given by the programmer. So let us have a look at the parts of this. In the bus interface unit, if we'll start from the right hand side, here we have an instruction queue, instruction stream byte queue. Then it is connected to address calculator. This part is called as the address calculator, wherein various inputs are given. Some of the segment registers and pointers and index registers are given as the input to it with the help of buses, and then it will generate some address and then it is interfaced to the memory through the buses. These are the parts of bus interface unit. In the execution unit, first thing we have is the instruction decoder and the control system. Then arithmetic and logic unit, which is connected to the operands and flags, and some registers, internal registers of 8086. So these are the parts of the architecture of 8086. Now let us see what are the parts. The 8086 CPU is divided into two independent functional parts. That means bus interface unit and execution unit are two separate parts, and because of this separation, as we have divided the work between these two, it helps in speeding up the processing of 8086. So let us see the execution unit in detail. Execution unit first has a control circuitry, instruction decoder, arithmetic and logic unit. So let us see the function of each one of these. See, whenever the instructions are written by the programmer, they are stored in a memory, and through the bus, they go to the instruction queue where they are prefetched and stored. So this prefetched instruction bytes are first of all given to the instruction decoder. The decoder decodes the instruction, translates the instruction fetched from memory into a series of action. Now, once we have decoded, we will have to take the relevant action, or we will have to generate particular signals. So that work is done by the control circuitry. Based on the decoded instruction, it will generate the control signals and they are given to the bus interface unit through the buses. So after getting the required data for operation, the Data is given to the arithmetic and logic unit. It will execute the instruction, whatever will be the instruction, addition, subtraction, any arithmetic, logic or any other operation that will be done by ALU. Whatever is the result obtained after the execution, the results are stored in the register or given to the memory, and the status of the result is reflected in the flag register. We will see about this in detail in the coming lectures. So basically registers are used for temporary data storage and flag register shows the status of the result. These are the execution steps. As I have already explained, the execution unit extracts the instructions from instruction queue, which is present in bus interface unit. Then it decodes the instruction, then generates the operands if it's required for the execution of operation. Then it is given to the BIU, bus interface unit, and requested to perform the read or write bus cycle and perform the operation specified by the instruction of operand. Now bus interface unit, it makes the system bus available for external interfacing, and all the communication of 8086 with the external peripherals is allowed through the bus interface unit. The important part present in it is the physical address calculator. We will see it in detail. So let us see the parts of bus interface unit. It has an instruction queue, segment registers, instruction pointer. Now what is the instruction queue? As we have said that it helps in prefetching the 6 instruction bytes when the current instruction is being executed. Because of this prefetching, the time is being saved, and that is the main aim of this instruction queue. Segment registers, these are basically 16-bit registers, and we will see in the coming lectures that the memory accessed by 8086 is divided into number of segments, and the starting address or the upper 16-bit address of each of these segments are stored in the segment register. Then instruction pointer. Instruction pointer register, it points to the memory location of the next instruction to be fetched. Then the address summing block. Now, as the physical address of any location is 20-bit, but all our registers are 16-bit, the 16-bit address from the segment register and from the offset register are combined in this address summing block. So pipeline architecture, which is the most important feature of 8086, it has a sequence. For example, first of all, when your execution unit is decoding an instruction or executing an instruction, it does not require the buses. That means the buses are free. So we can use that buses to fetch the next instruction which we have to execute. So what the bus interface unit fetches the next 6 instruction bytes which are required for the following operation. Now these pre-fetched bytes are stored in a particular register which is called as instruction queue. This instruction queue works on the principle of first in, first out. That means the byte which comes first in the instruction queue is given out first for the execution. Like that, the prefetch and queue scheme greatly speeds up the processing because it will not now require additional time for getting the byte after finishing the execution of current instruction. This fetching the next instruction while current instruction executes is called as pipelining. So this was all about the pipeline architecture. Thank you. See you in the next lecture.